Today, America Online is making it easier for people to live, work, and play.
When we installed internet access on our computer, I got the whole family involved.
A new place for the user to move.
Just what is this main artery of the information superhighway?
Stop, you beautiful bastards!
No matter how large, no matter how small, we'll be on the internet in the year 2000. It's the primary way that people will look up information.
Shut up!
When we were there.
Hello, and welcome to When We Were There, a biased internet history. I'm Thomas.
And I'm Josh, and this is a podcast all about the history of internet content, the who's, the what's, the where's Waldo's. We get into it all.
Whether you like it or not, every day, same thing. If you don't like it, doesn't matter.
Don't tell us about it.
Don't tell us about it.
We don't want to
definitely
hear it with no negative feedback.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about today. Thomas, tell us who we got on the docket.
So, we got frickin' Liam Kyle Sullivan. But the question is, do you know that name or do you know Shoes Guy? Because most people probably know Shoes Guy, which I wonder how that feels for you. But I'm freaking excited. It's fine.
It's great.
you can tell, actually, I'm actually very excited because not only is Shoes, honestly, out of every single person I've talked to, I've mentioned a lot of people that we've had on the show who are each one of them exciting to me. But 9 times out of 10, whenever I say, oh, we also got the Shoes Guy, they go, oh, Shoes? I know that. I swear to God.
I think it's kind of this weird thing. Well, not even that weird is if you look into the age range of 20 to 30 and the smack dab in the middle, pretty much where we are is the 25-ish area. If you mention shoes, it's such a cultural milestone that almost everyone in that age range is like, oh yeah, I remember that. It's such a big part of internet history. And
it's
incredible.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And not only that though, because so in rediscovering your channel in prep for this this interview, I was watching some of the other stuff that I didn't watch when I was a kid. And honestly, I think some of it's even better than Shoes. It's all so funny, man. I love honestly everything I've seen on the channel. I've loved, and I'm I've been so excited to have this interview ever since that.
Thank you. That's awesome.
So I guess for the 2 people out there who don't know what Shoes is or who you might be, do you want to give a little introduction?
Yeah. Shoes is, it's a song. And then I made a music video to go with the song based on a character named Kelly, who is a girl. She's a teenager, and she doesn't get what she wants for her birthday. Her parents openly despise her,
Yeah,
and shower her brother with affection. He gets everything he wants, and she gets a stuffed animal. So the song kind of springboards from that. The music video springboards from that into a shoe shopping spree with her friends that ends rather chaotically and with a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah,
She's
sure does.
not a very happy person. But she is she's going to get what she wants.
She's a go-getter.
Yes.
Yeah, she really is.
Yes.
That video it's crazy. There's fire twirling. There's robots. There's a guy in a purple outfit.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it.
There's
not
a
only
robot. There's a robot that gets offended by watching a human do the robot dance.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that. It's in the background?
It's like during the pool party dance scene.
Yeah.
The guy, we call him Purple Man, my friend Scott.
Yeah.
He's doing this, and then he looks at the robot, and the robot's like, "Hey,
The fuck?
That's appropriation.
What's really cool is also, and anyone listening to this who's a fan of yours or just fan of Shoes, seen it, if you go back on your channel now, you brought almost back everyone back, including I believe Margaret Cho was also brought back for masks.
Yes, we did
masks
in September because, people weren't wearing masks, or there was this whole hey, if you wear a mask, we can stop the spread. And I had seen Jimmy Fallon. My friend texted me and he said, Jimmy Fallon's ripping you off, man. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he had made a video called Hats that was
Oh yeah.
very similar to shoes. And so I was like, he should have done masks because we should all be wearing masks. So that's when we decided, let's break out the wig, get those old high heels on,
Yeah.
and go out on Melrose Ave here in LA. And what was kind of creepy about that, I mean, it was happening a lot, was so many stores were closed and boarded
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
There was a literal sign that said closed again because,
Yeah.
shops would close and then they reopen and they close again. And, it was sad. And so
Yeah.
we went around that same area where we had shot the shoes video, the exteriors of the shoes video back in, God, it was 2006. And yeah, I did it. Let's wear a mask.
So those are the same stores, and now they're
It's the
boarded
same
up?
area. I don't
Same
think
area.
they're the same stores. We tried to find
Yeah.
places in the video. It was like, oh, you're talking on the phone with your friends in this part, and that background looks like this. This
Yeah.
kind of looks similar to that background, and it's the
Yeah.
same street and
Right.
everything. Melrose Ave in LA is like all these boutique shops and fashion stuff.
Which
Yeah.
again,
90210, everyone.
it's a small
Melrose
detail.
Place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that shot where you're talking on the phone has always been one of my favorite things. Just the way you're like talking almost like a puppet. Like I
The hair got in my mouth,
yeah.
and I was just like,
yeah. And you're like,
at one
and your
point.
like tongue is kind of out. You're like talking on your tongue. Like
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I
Yeah.
love that so much.
we had like a minute take of that.
Yeah.
And within that minute, I was just doing different
versions,
goofy
just
stuff.
using-
Yeah.
So I guess also this is something I wanted to ask you. Is it still the same outfit, like the same clothes the whole time? Have you kept it?
No,
Or have you had to replace parts?
I wore out. There's a leather or a pleather jacket with short sleeves that got worn
Mhm.
out pretty quick because I wore it. Like I started
Touring,
doing
right?
touring and college
Yeah.
performances and touring with Margaret Cho, and so that got pretty disgusting after a while.
Yeah.
And the shoes broke. Like one of the heels broke completely, so those got changed out. Um, and yeah, I think since like 2008 or something, that's when I still have a skirt, and the tights never change though. I mean the look of the tights. I have different tights, but
Mm.
the overall look, the wig, the glasses, just lipstick, no eye makeup, no like glam,
Yeah.
and some of the jewelry I still have.
Okay. And still the same tube of lipstick
You
from
would assume, yeah.
2006. It's the same one.
No, it's not.
Damn it. We're trying to become gotcha guys.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It is the same tube. You're disgusting.
Yeah.
I have to ask because, it kind of seems like the video blew up pretty quick, and then you kind of created, I guess, what is now known as the Kelly Cinematic Universe.
That's how my friend Dave talks about it. He's like, let's do Marvel. Let's create. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you've kind of like created this cast of characters, and I think even if we go back to that time, I think we have our own version of what we think about like the golden era, the silver era, the bronze era of like the beginnings of YouTube. And you're kind of in there, I guess, what could be called the bronze era, where a lot of people on YouTube, because it was when YouTube first started, it was kind of used as like a video dump site, like Funny Junk or E-Bomb's World. And a lot of stuff was just like a lot of one-hit wonders, especially in something like the Pork and Beans video that you were in as well. But you kind of took the momentum from that and kept making like characters and viral videos in almost like a very short amount of time. Like you're touring with Margaret Cho, you're working with Dave Navarro. Like it almost, I'm sure it wasn't actually, but it almost seems like an overnight thing of just like blowing the fuck up.
Yeah, it was. It was also an industry confusion. It was like, what is YouTube? Like, is it just like you were saying, is it just like these one-off silly cat videos, or is it a whole platform? Is it changing, the landscape of like what you can do? And then I think Justin Bieber was really like oh my God, he was discovered on YouTube and now he's a
Yeah.
mega star. I see the progress. Okay, so this is how we do it. Whereas when I was doing in 2006, um, it was still like, well, okay, that's all well and good, but we still have to go build an audience. You know, you have to go out and do tours and show up live and build an audience that way.
Yeah.
But it's almost like you don't have. It's good to do that, but you don't really have to do that now. You can build the audience all online,
Totally.
which that was the beginning of, and we didn't even know it at the time. I was trying to get on TV. I actually remember I met the Smosh guys,
Yeah.
Ian and
Yeah.
Anthony, and I was like, "So when are you guys getting a TV show?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"We're not. We're staying online. We're staying
Yeah.
in this space." And I was like, "Huh, you can do that? I didn't know you could do." I thought it had to be a springboard to other stuff.
Well, that's
Um,
funny because I was even gonna bring them up in terms of, so like, I think you mentioned when you first felt that shoes blew up. You heard it on the radio. I can't remember the station or the show, right? But it was like an LA radio show or
um,
something like that.
yeah, well, it's so funny. I don't remember that, but I do remember people telling me about YouTube and saying, because I had a website where I had my videos.
Mm-hmm.
I was making videos at the time as a part of a live show that I was doing.
Yeah.
And I would do characters and then I'd show a video and do more characters and show a video. And that format was kind of based on a sketch group that I was with at the time called Another Showcase Showdown, where there were like 30 of us and we would do giant musical numbers. And my friend Dave, who's still my friend, um, was like instrumental in that. But uh, so I was doing a live show in the hopes of like showcasing myself, doing it here in LA.
Yeah.
And so when I had my website, it was more of like I don't know, a landing page for people who saw my show could
Yeah.
come and see those videos. But then YouTube was invented in 2005, and so people started taking the video, downloading my videos because I guess I made them downloadable. I don't know.
Well, I think you probably would have had to, right? Unless you built like a video streaming client on your site. Like,
Yeah,
how else?
this was.
It,
I mean,
it would
I
have to
think
have
people
been
were still
downloadable.
using GeoCities and stuff like. This
Yeah.
is pretty. Do you remember Net Zero? There was internet should be free.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think it's crazy that a lot of people that we've talked to have either gotten their start in some form of like traditional media acting or also doing something like a public access show.
Yeah.
And I think what is also true is a lot of people didn't even upload their stuff to YouTube. It was someone else. In the case
Yeah.
of like Michael Buckley, I think it was his nephew with Blame Society Films. People just started uploading stuff like that. Film Cow also, people took it from Newgrounds.
Yeah.
And then was it just one of those things like, well, people are putting my stuff on YouTube already. I might as well put my own stuff there.
Yeah. And there were multiple, you could find Shoes under any different channel, any different name at the time.
Yeah.
Shoes and Muffins were the ones that were like, and
Yeah.
I don't think I built a channel until 2007 because I just didn't. I was like, I didn't get it quite then.
The shoes video got uploaded on, I just checked, July 10th, 2006.
Oh, okay. So that was when I did it. But did I build the channel? Oh, I must have built the channel then in 2006, but only uploaded a couple of videos.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was just Shoes and Muffins pretty much off the bat.
Yeah.
And this was all going towards your live show, though.
Yeah, they were all part of the live show at the time. And I just thought, oh, I'll just keep making. And some of the videos I actually submitted to Slam Dance as like film festival shorts.
Yeah.
But no, nothing came out
They
of
didn't
that.
like them.
I guess they didn't like them.
Did you know about Channel 101 at all?
Yes, I did. I actually attended one or two of their live events,
Mm-hmm.
live shows. Yeah.
Did you ever consider trying to submit to them?
I didn't. I guess I didn't know I didn't know exactly what it was. I thought, well, I've got this thing going. Let me just concentrate on this and do my
Yeah,
live
fair
shows
enough.
and my tours and my, try to get pitch meetings and that sort of thing.
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you're able to successfully do a live show, like that is so awesome to be able to like actually go on tour, get to like present these characters along with, accompanying videos. Like that in itself is like even pre-YouTube. That's living a dream right there.
Yeah. Yeah. It was incredible. And I did not understand. I was like, wait, YouTube is free? I don't have to
Yeah.
pay to promote myself? That's completely bonkers.
Yeah. I guess you would have been paying like for your site to host it, right?
Yeah. I
So-
thought, oh, there's no fee for this? I can just put them up there and ship it out and go, here I am. That's wild.
And now, like 69 million views later, here we are.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And I think that first year was probably the majority of that because I missed out on a lot of the ad revenue that came later.
Jeez, yeah, before the partner program, I guess.
Yeah.
I
okay.
think what's pretty cool is you do have a background also in acting in traditional media. Like you've been on a lot of television shows, and I believe in the late 90s you actually played a character that did drag on Buffy. Was that sort of the
Yes,
inception? Would you say that was the inception moment of maybe creating like the Kelly character or doing other characters in drag?
No, because I'd always done, goofy characters like that ever since I was a kid. I mean, I remember doing fake radio shows with my sister, and we would do we'd impersonate our teachers and just, rip them apart.
As you do.
Yeah.
As you
As
do.
they deserved, I'm sure.
Well, just, for fun. And
Yeah.
and so, yeah, I was that Buffy job though. It was one of my first jobs in Los Angeles, and they said, "Okay, you're gonna be passing hors d'oeuvres at a frat party. You're a pledge," and they're dressing up like this. Cool. So stand here and wait for your cue. And I look over and there's Sarah Michelle Gellar right next to me.
Yeah.
Welcome to Hollywood. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool first introduction right there.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say a damn word to her. I just looked over and went, that's
Yeah.
her.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's also kind of crazy that while you were sort of putting all this out, you got a People's Choice Award, which is a crazy thing for like non-traditional media, especially coming from YouTube. Like it's kind of more commonplace now, but you probably would have been one of the first internet celebrities to have that happen to you.
Yeah. I remember they came up with a category just specifically. They were like, well, we should do something for this new medium. And the category was favorite user-generated video. So it was pretty much anything. It could have been, some viral moment that someone just, like, I mean, this predates remember the kid with the dentist, like,
David goes to the dentist.
yeah, something like that could have won. But I remember Chocolate Rain and I were in the same, we were both nominated. And I remember meeting Tay later, Tay Zonday. He would be a great guest, by the way.
Oh, we've reached out.
Good. He's terrific.
You got to tell him to come on the pod.
Okay, I will. I met him doing that Pork and Beans video, the Weezer video.
Yeah, which I also want to talk about because that's crazy. I remember seeing that as a kid and it blew my mind.
Oh, I probably watched that video like 100 times when it came out.
Yeah.
It's pretty
crazy.
Amazing. There's so many people in it that you're like, I know. Oh, them.
I thought at first when I first saw it that they just digitally imposed you and like somehow dubbed over your mouth Forrest Gump style. Like the idea that all these internet celebrities got together to do this like blew my, I think at the time, like 8-year-old mind.
Yeah. Well, I think it was designed to do that. And they recreated the backdrop. My favorite is the Numa Numa guy.
Yeah.
And then the drummer of Weezer comes right behind him eating cereal.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like,
Was that a set?
they
built
recreated that. Yes, they
That's
recreated it.
crazy.
He was actually there, so it was not special effects.
Same as like you doing the I don't care.
Yeah, they recreated the look of that shoe store, and yeah, I was live right there.
That's
That's so
crazy.
I mean,
awesome.
live. I was
You
in
were
person.
you were living.
I was alive.
Yeah. They yeah, I guess they have that big shot where they pan through like the warehouse or whatever, right? And it's all everyone is in that space together.
Yeah, and what
Which-
was the best was so I don't know if this was cuz I knew Scott, but the bass player, I had met him through other circles, but they just handed me a guitar and said,
Yeah.
"Okay, you're going to play with the band." And I was like, "What are the chords?" And they're like, "You don't need to know the chords. What are you doing?" But I knew a little bit, and I learned the chords, and I was trying to like play along with them, and it was the
Yeah.
coolest to
That's
play,
crazy.
like
Yeah,
mock play with Weezer in a music video. One of the best
That's
experiences of my life.
your height.
Yeah.
Did you write all the music for like, well, I mean all your music? Like,
Yeah. Well, they were based on GarageBand loops.
Okay.
So I think it was 2004 when I bought a Mac, an iMac. And
Yeah.
this was one
Yeah.
that was a little dome and had the neck and the screen, and it just looked so sweet. And it had like 4 megabytes of RAM. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I read somewhere that they sent the guys to the moon with like 4 kilobytes of RAM or something. I was like, how
I
did they
think
do
it's
that?
like 512 or something. But
Yeah,
it's like
something
nothing.
ridiculously small.
and I'm complaining like, oh, I only got 16 gigs.
Yeah, what the
Yeah.
hell? This phone sucks. But what was I saying? Oh, so I got the Mac and I was like, oh, cool. Let me mess around with GarageBand. And I mean, there are all these loops built in that were free with the,
Mhm.
bundled with the software. And I was just playing with them, and there were all these, like techno sounding beats and, hi-hat and all the drums and all the stuff. And I was just layering them in, and I was just messing around with it and having fun. And at the time I was doing sketch comedy, so I was doing all these characters, and the Kelly character had actually been part of a sketch that didn't go anywhere at one point. It didn't work. And for some reason, the saying shoes in that character, shoes, just saying
Yeah.
that just struck me as funny on a walk one day when I was just trying to get ideas. And when I put it to music, I'd been listening to Peaches and Chicks on Speed, and so
Yeah.
there was this like, you can just kind of, you don't have to rap, you can just talk. And I was like, oh, you can do that. Okay, let's see. And so, yeah, then I brought these really raw, unfinished GarageBand tracks to my friend Ken, who is an incredibly talented man, Ken Michael, and he mixed it. Like, he said, oh, let me put this in Logic or Pro Tools
Mhm.
and mix it and master it, and let's get some vocals, like some real vocals in there. And then I started writing more songs, and then I did it live. The first time I ever did it was at a bar in Santa Monica that my friend was running it was stand up. It was like
Yeah.
a stand up act.
Just like an open mic sort of thing. Right?
Sort of, yeah. Well, wasn't open mic. They were like seasoned
You were billed,
comedians.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't billing, like there wasn't a marquee, but it was like, we got this great comedian, and sometimes people would try out new stuff, and that's when I said, I have this new thing. I don't know if it's going to work. It's really out there. I remember changing in the bathroom, putting on the wig, and going, I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I don't know.
Doing the lipstick, like, is this really gonna work?
Yeah, and putting the tights on. But the
Yeah.
thing was, I wanted her to look like a real person. I didn't want her to look like a drag act,
Yeah.
So that's why I made her kind of a little, just a little frumpy, like her stomach's hanging out and stuff.
Yeah.
So it worked. Luckily, it worked. And yeah, and then a friend said, you should make a video. You should make a music video to that song. So,
And
yeah,
that just, I guess it worked.
it worked. And
Yes, very
I
much did.
suppose you could say that. Yeah.
I mean, and this might be an odd wording of a question, but I mean, with, coming from a sketch comedy background and, doing like stand up, would you say that you did the music to facilitate the comedy, or the comedy to facilitate the music after a certain point? Like,
it was
did
the
you
music
find,
to facilitate the comedy.
yeah, and I have to also, as a follow up to that, is you're also a professional editor. And did you have formal training, or did you find a love for editing while having to make your own videos?
The latter. I took a class at the Apple Store.
Oh, nice.
Oh, damn, yeah.
In what, like Final Cut 7 or something?
Yes.
Nice.
And yeah, I learned on Final Cut 7. I made so many mistakes in the early days. I remember there's a feature where you can just, keyboard shortcut to select all the footage, at the end of the, like 15 minutes worth of footage, and then drag it, or drag it around. And I never knew that shortcut for like a year. And so I'd select each clip, shift, select for like 5 minutes, trying to get all this footage to move.
My God.
Oh man, when I learned that shortcut, I was like, oh. And match frame was another. I cannot believe I didn't know that shortcut, and I was working at that point.
Yeah, I mean, as a group of editors here, can we just like bless Final Cut 7? I'm not a big fan of Final Cut X personally. I love Final Cut 7.
I like X. I think it's
Thomas, you shut your mouth. we're switching to Resolve now because I'm not a big Premiere fan. But
Premiere sucks. I
Oh.
don't like Premiere at all.
I like Premiere. I've got to get into DaVinci because I haven't really.
It's been pretty good so far for me. I like
Yeah.
it a lot.
I know for light, for color, I mean,
Yeah.
it's good.
And then it also, like, it seems like it has a pretty powerful, like, audio interface built into it too. I haven't dived too deeply into it, but it just seems like a good, like, it's got the full package.
Audio,
and it's free.
Yes, I've got it. I've just got to,
You got to
open it
play
up
around.
and play around with it. But audio is such a big part of it, and yeah, early on I didn't know much about audio. As I'm learning more and more as I go, I'm like, why don't we learn more about audio? Audio is like half the product. There's this
if
half
not
and then
more
this
at
half.
a certain point. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I in film school, one of our teachers made a real good point, which is like, people can forgive bad video, but they're way less forgiving with bad audio.
Yeah.
Like you can look at something like Blair Witch, where the footage is shaky, it's not like super high quality, but the audio is clean.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, you can
And the Foley and the
watch it.
design is great. In Blair
That's
Witch
the other
too,
thing
which-
too. Well, that's how you bring, like, I love audio editing, I love sound design. It's my
You'll
favorite
love
thing.
my friend Michael James Gallagher.
Yeah.
He does a YouTube channel all about sound design, and he will break down sound design in movies, so you can hear each layer that they put in. He did one for Batman, the bat helicopter. What is it called? The bat
the
jet,
Batmobile?
the Batwing.
the Batwing.
Yeah.
He did one
Yeah.
for the Batwing where it kind of takes off out of an alley and flies over
In the
Commissioner
Dark Knight
Gordon.
Rises, right?
Yes. And he goes, okay, here's the rotor, here's the motor, here's the wind, here's the
Yeah.
people, here's all these layers of sound.
Probably something like, here's like papers flapping away as it
Yes.
flies. Like,
Yes.
it's
and-
there's so detailed you can get with it.
Yeah. So it's
Michael
so
Gallagher
cool.
is totally sketch, correct?
Michael Gallagher is totally sketch. Michael James Gallagher is
Oh, okay. Different
audio guy.
Gallagher. Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of Michael Gallaghers.
I guess so.
Yeah, I think at the time, like, Michael Gallagher was blowing up at that time, and I think Mike was like, gotta put James in there now.
But you had in the Going Straight videos, you had Michael Gallagher in there. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Hi, I'm
Which-
Ron.
So
Yes.
funny. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm
I'm
Ron, too.
Ron. Oh, yeah, those were, gosh, when was that? 2009, 10, 11, 12?
I think 11,
2012.
yeah.
Yeah. 11
Okay,
and
yeah.
12. I know the one with Hi, I'm Ron was 2012.
Yeah. That's when I was with Maker
Mm.
Studios.
which
I
was
didn't know you were
birthed out of the
part of
station,
Maker.
eh?
which was birthed out of the station. Lisa Nova.
Because Lisa
Ben
Nova is
Donovan.
in one of your videos, or a couple.
Yeah, she's in.
Text message breakup, might.
No, she's in Let Me Borrow That Top, I believe.
Yes, let me borrow that time. Yeah,
yes,
that's what it was.
yes, she is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're like, just come out here and like look like a badass, and that's it.
Yeah.
Go home.
I just think it's like so cool that like aside from just internet success, you've also like because you work for the digital side of the Ellen Show as well. You've worked for BuzzFeed, Nickelodeon,
For
Smosh.
Smosh.
Yeah.
Defy, right?
Yeah. I love Smosh. The first time I saw Smosh, oh God, I forget when it was, but they did a video where they just sat there and they were in these rolling chairs like I'm in now, and they just kind of smashed their knees
I
against
remember
each other.
that
Do you
one.
remember that one?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that
I was
one.
like, what am I watching? What is this? And then they ended it by like, was it? Yeah. Ian just goes, bye, and then ends it. And I was like, this is so stupid. This is so
Yeah.
nothing. And it's great. And I was like, this is Beavis and Butthead.
I totally forgot about that. That's
I-
that's one of the. I think that's a day in the life. That's not. I don't think that was on their main channel though.
Oh, it
Like
wasn't?
I don't think so. I could be wrong, but I think that sounds like a day in the life,
I
which I,
remember
love.
just
those.
checking them out and going, I don't know. I don't get it, but I love it. It's so, it's that absurdity, kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And it totally reminded me of Beavis and Butthead because I grew up watching them,
Yeah.
that cartoon, and being like, this is so ridiculous and stupid. I love it.
Well, and I mean, we've been quite vocal about our love for Smosh on this show. Smosh is like definitely, I think for you as well, right, Josh? The
Yeah, I
reason
think
why
like starting to make. I mean, I've been making like videos with like my cousins since I was 8, but when YouTube kind of came up, like me and a friend of mine started making videos, and that was totally the main inspiration. Same for Thomas.
Same with me. Yeah, our shtick was like exactly the same. Two
Yeah.
like goofy guys. Neither of them is really the straight man. Like they're both silly.
Yeah. And both
and-
play off each other so well.
Yeah,
Like, just, yeah.
But
and super absurdist.
I think speaking of Smosh though is like, and if you look at a lot of other people that were very successful, and I don't mean to deter away from that, but I think maybe probably because you have like a background in just like Shakespearean theater and also doing like live shows and music, you're also one of those people that has had like production value way ahead of its time for YouTube.
Totally.
I was trying to make short films. It's kind of why I couldn't really jump into vlogging style, because it was such a different thing, and it was so like, here I am, I'm a person, and I'm doing this weird stuff. Like, I couldn't really go there. I felt way more at home and at ease doing a character and building like you said, like a world. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, that is expensive.
Yeah, because even if you go to
Time
like
consuming.
even shoes, like if you're just going off the back, like clearly you had background actors and you were shooting in real stores. Like I think of us being like film school babies, like we know just as far as like locking down locations and permits and background and having an AD, and this stuff adds up for sure.
But I think that there must be a crane for that one shot at the pool. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's a jib arm
Yeah.
that you can manually. We didn't have a robotic one. I borrowed it. Like a friend of mine was doing a short film, and
Even still, that's like, I mean, not everyone has a friend with a jib arm. You know what I mean?
right, yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
And my friend Eduardo Cisneros, who shot that part, was like, ugh. There's many takes where it's just like this.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a learning curve that day, but we got 2 good takes. So
I had to use a jib arm in film school as well, and yeah, it's definitely takes a sec to figure it out. Especially we didn't have like a monitor, like we didn't have I couldn't have a monitor in front of me, so I had to like stare up at the monitor on the camera on the rig and just like hope it's close enough.
just hope. Maybe it's
Yeah.
good. A lot of that run and gun style is, if you're directing, you're like, well, did we get it? Yeah, you have to trust your camera operator and be like, or your DP.
Yeah,
All right, moving on.
hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. But that was in the days when I was on tape. She was on digital tape.
Oh yeah,
and it was
like
only a
mini
few
DV
years.
or
Sorry,
was it mini DV?
it was
or?
mini DV, so we
Yeah.
couldn't watch it back. We
Yeah.
could, but
But then
then
you have to rewind. and
yeah, it
fast
was like,
forward
do we
again.
really want to mess with that? No. Now, of course,
Yeah.
you can play the clip back, but
Now it's so easy. Kids these days don't even know. Them
Hey.
making their TikToks.
when I was doing mini DV tapes, my
Yeah.
father, who had, he was an editor. He's retired now, but he worked on in like the news, like the local affiliate for ABC in Massachusetts, where I grew up, and he would do reel to reel stuff. It would take a whole day just to get. It
Yeah.
was difficult work.
He probably would have been using like some form of Betacam too if it was news, eh?
Yes, he
Yeah.
learned. I think he learned on the reel to reel, and I think in college, back in those days too, they would teach you the reel to reel. Just so you know, I don't know if you guys did that, but
I've worked in archiving, so I did audio reel to reel as well as like transferring like 8 and 16 mil.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was working on he would get the tape, the beta. I forget what it's called.
Betacam.
Yeah, Betacam, and have to edit a piece for the 11 o'clock news. When they're like, earlier today we talked to
Yeah.
the store owner.
Yeah.
And they cut to this tape, this edited piece. He would have to turn that around.
Yeah, and I
And
guess
just-
for the
just a
audio
few
would have had to
hours.
do reel to reel. Yeah, geez.
Yeah, I'll have to
that's-
ask him. He didn't like talking about it too much.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's funny though that he was an editor and now you're an editor. Did
I
you,
know,
like,
right?
You never
Family
expected
business.
that, I'm sure. Hey, yeah.
He was like, "What are you doing? Why are you being an editor now? What happened?
Yeah. What are you gonna do with your life?
I'm gonna do a lot of different things."
Which actually I guess kind of leads into a question I have. Did you ever? I can't imagine you never got offered to do like a sketch show or anything. Like, was that not something you wanted to do?
It was. We in that year, 2007 was the year that I was like, okay, I gotta get out there and make this happen. Like, cause I've got this magic.
Yeah.
How do I parlay that? And that was the whole thing. Like, in my conversation with Smosh, them saying we're not going to TV, I was like, why not?
Yeah.
But so I was in the mindset of take this and parlay it into that, like into TV and movies and like an acting career. Because before then, I'd just been doing, like you said, I did TV. I did like these roles here and there on TV. I joined SAG. I was like, okay, here I go. And but along with that came, well, I can't just audition all the time. I have to make some opportunities, and that's why I started making my own short films and writing and all that, making music. And so, yeah, I had some pitch meetings in New York. Didn't go that great. One was at Comedy Central. One was at HBO.
Did you ever try for something like Adult Swim?
Because it seems like that it might have been a little bit before like it blew up, but Adult Swim really seems like kind of your brand.
Yeah, like watching like the Showiest show for me was like, this is Adult Swim through and through.
Yeah, well, I was highly influenced by Adult Swim. But I mean, one of the things I kept bumping up against was, can we make it more male? That was kind of a note. And I was like, well, I'm the Muffin Lady. I'm Kelly. Those are my big calling cards. Like, I can't make them more male because they're not.
Yeah.
They were trying to bro you up.
They were trying to bro it up a little bit.
Bad note.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was,
the time, yeah.
That was the time. It was also like, well, that's our audience. Comedy Central, Adult Swim, kind of, until I guess, I don't know, Broad City, somewhere in 2014.
Shout out Abby and Alana.
Right?
I'm a huge Broad City fan. And I think kind of the funny thing is in many ways you're very ahead of your time, but similar with like your characters, I think like today that would play insanely well in Adult Swim.
Well,
let's
call them up. Let's get them on the phone.
We'll do it.
Let's get Ted Turner on the phone.
We'll get a cheeky brunch set up. I mean, well, but that's how it feels watching.
Lloyd, get Ted Turner on the phone.
He's been watching Entourage.
Yeah.
But that watching the the sketches though, or the shoes video, it really feels like there is a super developed world, and it feels like they're ripped out of like a larger sketch show. So
I guess it was.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah, I
But you know
always
what I
kind
mean?
of envisioned, you know, the family continuing. I had a whole like animated show idea that I was like trying to really go towards, because I was like, this family could live for like Kelly's going to be 16 forever. You know,
Yeah.
we can build that, and we tried multiple times with that, and it just didn't go anywhere.
I've watched like 10 animation tutorials on YouTube, so I think let's do it, man.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was people who saw it said, well, but it's not your face. You know, a lot of it is
Yeah.
your face,
That is
your
true.
blank stare, or your, insane muffin lady.
You straight up look like a mannequin when you're standing outside of. Is that a mannequin?
Yes. You mean that first shot? That's
Yeah,
a
when
jib
you're
arm
staring
too,
and-
by the way. The like swooping up from the feet
Oh,
to
yeah?
the shoe to Kelly's face.
Yeah, and then
That
the
was the
woman is like
idea.
at the window.
That
Yeah,
was the
it's-
idea. She's a mannequin come to life, sort of like, oh, she's kind of frightening to the girls putting the shoes in the
Yeah.
window. That's my friend Megan, by the way, who also plays Heather the Vampire.
Your best friend in a lot of those.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who
Did
is
she also play the wife in Baby Names?
she
that
does,
was-
yeah.
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 That's yeah.
Yeah.
That one's really funny too.
She was
Dengar.
I'm a big Star Wars nerd,
Yeah.
and so yeah, there's all these little Star Wars just bubbles up from inside all the time, and I can't help it sometimes.
Do you know the Blame Society guys who did Chad Vader?
I don't know them personally, but when I first saw Chad Vader, I fell down. I was like, I love
Yeah.
this idea.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, no,
so
it's cool.
good.
We had Aaron Yonda on the podcast, super sweet guy.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
one of the crazy things was like our first question, just like coming from film school, knowing fair use, like how do you get away with it? And, like,
Yeah.
well, George Lucas loved us. He handed us like the 2007 fan award himself. Like,
Oh,
just-
good.
yeah. So like there are more people at LucasArts that like wanted them to keep going than actually shut them down.
That's awesome. That's good
Yeah.
because I know. Yeah. Well, now they're Disney, so I don't know if it's that easy anymore. But
It's Disney's weird. It's like you can make whatever fan property you want, but the second you start making money, they're like,
no.
Nah.
you know, no.
Well,
Yeah.
how does that work for? Because I know. Oh, they're a charitable organization. Never mind. The
but-
501st Legion, the guys who build stormtrooper outfits at home and wear them, and they're like, they look
Yeah.
just out of
so
the movie.
Some of them are down here, and they were actually used in a local Vancouver show called Buckets, which is kind of like a military-style pseudo-drama comedy about like what stormtroopers are doing day to day, and they're able to do that because they're not making profit on it technically.
Yeah.
Yes, I actually found a couple of guys to be in the text message breakup video, and when they showed up, I was geeking out.
Shout
I
out
was like-
505th Infantry, baby.
Is it 505th or 501st?
501st. No, you're correct. I'm wrong.
That's okay. No, I thought I was wrong and I was freaking out, but they showed up and they had the holsters, they had it they were just looked like they walked off the set.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, I just love there's a couple lines of like stuff we've been rewatching. One is Dengar, like just
Yeah.
up with the guy that played Dengar. I think another
He must have been 90 years old when you had
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
affair with
Yeah.
him. He was a nice older gentleman.
yeah.
I was
What's
in
your
an older
problem?
man phase.
You're crazy.
I almost
Yeah.
thought that was going in the direction of she physically hooks up with the fictional character Dengar. Another line that I really love, that is just stuck in my head now is, what's your bicep measurement? 12 inches. Oh wait, that's my cock.
Yeah.
From the Scared Straight.
And
Or
then,
they're
he
going
goes, "You text me first."
Yeah, you.
So
yeah,
good.
that I had tried that character before.
Yeah, straights just pull their dick out. You compare the sword,
Yes.
sword fight a little.
The straights are always whipping their cocks.
I
out.
mean, we.
Yeah.
I I had tried that character before. That was another character that didn't work, like in earlier
Yeah.
Oh, really? And it just worked
sketches.
later, I guess.
And then I heard about conversion therapy, and I was like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
The guys who are hosting those conversion therapies, what's in their minds? Are they trying to hook up with guys? And that's when I was like, oh,
Yeah, it's just a ploy to get laid the whole time.
yeah, right.
Another thing I've noticed in a couple of videos, and it's going to seem like I'm going on a tangent, audience, but there is a point to this. So when I was a younger Josh, a 15-year-old Josh, if you will, there was this NBC show I really liked. I don't know how well it is aged, but I really liked it. It was called Outsourced. And one of the funniest characters in that actually appeared in a lot of your videos.
Parvesh.
Yes.
Yes, Parvesh Chena. He is an astounding actor.
Yeah, he would. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have made the connection from watching your earlier videos and then a little bit later watching that show, but he was so funny on that show. And then I'm going back and seeing him in like almost all your music videos.
So we did a commercial together. I remember meeting him in a callback when this was before shoes and everything. It was a Skittles ad. It's probably still out there somewhere, but it's this singing rabbit. And I have this. You remember these Skittles ad that were really bizarre and very like Adult Swim style, very like what's happening here. They still do them actually, I think. But
I saw a weird one. I don't think it's real, but it's not real. I just I can't even say it's real because I definitely know it's not. But it was like a couple on their wedding night and they're having sex, and then she says like "nut on me," and it's Skittles. And it's on it's on YouTube. It's like
real.
No, but on YouTube back in the day, it was like billed as like, oh, banned Skittles commercial.
Right, banned Skittles.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to click on that.
Yeah.
Well, this one was just a singing rabbit, and I traded the rabbit for a box of Skittles from Parvesh. And I remember in the callback, because some of these commercials, man, you go out and there's like 300 guys up for the same role, and they just whittle down. They're basically just going, okay, maybe this guy, I don't know. And in the callback, I was with Parvesh, and it's a very simple here, thank you. Like they don't want you to do anything.
Yeah.
No, like, isn't this funny, guy? Like, no, just dead. I'm a normal person. And he was doing just little tiny things with his eyes and his face that were so good and so funny while doing nothing. You know?
Yeah.
You know that kind of like you see someone who's just so funny and they're not doing anything.
Like you.
He's like that. Well, I have to I have to do a little song and dance. I got to put on a wig and
but also
wig and lipstick.
Your facial expressions though, the deadpan stares.
Oh,
I mean,
well,
come on.
thanks. But I loved his work, and so we became friends. And then later on, when we were doing the No Booty Calls video, he was doing stuff that was just cracking everybody up that night. It was a party scene, and so we're all just messing around and drinking, and there's pizza, and it was like, let's have fun. And but the whole time I'm like, did we get the shot? Are we okay? But he was doing such funny stuff that night, and it was like, let's hey, find Parvesh. Anytime you're in doubt, just find Parvesh in the party.
And yeah.
Just see what he's doing.
He's so funny. Yeah.
And it's gonna be gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of like a funny little like Easter egg almost from my childhood. It's just like,
oh, cool.
Oh, fucking A. That's like awesome.
The guy from Outsourced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a question about like, I do kind of hate the term cancel culture, but I do wonder, do you think you would be able to do the same character if it was invented today? Do you think you would catch flack? Because you are a straight man and you portray not only just Kelly, but also like in the Get Straight video, you portray a gay man as well. Do you think that would be something that's like, could be done now?
You know, I haven't really thought about it.
Because like you're sort of grandfathered in at this point that you can continue to do it. And I know you have a big gay following, so
yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
And I've done shows at gay clubs, and they've been phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like I had great times. There was one show I did in San Francisco, and I had the whole crowd screaming along with me,
Yeah.
and everyone's there to like dance and have fun, and
Yeah.
not necessarily to see me, but they were all on board. There was a whole plate of muffins when I got there.
Nice.
And so
Some Israeli
felt,
and
like,
Palestinian
supported.
conflict muffins.
Yes, Israeli it's funny.
That joke got me so good.
I know. I don't know how. There was a whole list, and I had to pare it down. And that one always made me laugh.
It's so funny.
Fire always made me laugh.
Fire,
Imaginary muffin always made me. So yeah. But anyway, so as far as cancel, I don't know. Geez,
I guess,
I don't know.
I feel like, honestly, I don't think the gay community would get upset about this at all. I think, and to use your phrasing, the straights would be the ones, like, people,
Yeah.
but like people who like to crusade for other people. I
Yeah.
could see that becoming a thing, which is, I don't know, a shame.
Yeah, I
Like,
Well,
I think it's a good thing that as a society we're getting more sensitive to people and like more like, okay, is like, are these things that we're doing or saying comfortable for everyone? But there definitely are some people who I think take too much upon themselves to be like, oh, I have to like save people, like.
I think it gets so amplified in a space where, when I'm scrolling through my phone and I see something like this person did this horrible racist thing, it's like, oh my God, how could that person do that? That's horrible.
Mhm.
And you get so inflamed and so incensed.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's something about that experience where you're just alone with that news.
And then you have nowhere to like release the energy
And it
to.
just builds up inside you and you're like, oh, how can the world be so awful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to step back and go, okay, there are things I can do that are positive, that can fight racism and fight all these horrible things that are happening. Climate change, like there are things I can do without freaking out every time, because then you're just reacting to
to everything,
to
and then
everything, and it's overwhelming.
becomes-
It's so overwhelming
and exhausting. Yeah, like you just at that point you won't even be useful in like being able to fight the good fight or whatever you want to call it. Like, if you're getting freaked out over every little thing, you can't put your energy towards working towards the big things.
And right now it's a crazy time.
It's
for all of
it's
kind of hitting a
ridiculous.
weird cacophony of like just, I think, even in Canada it's affected us, but I think the Trump presidency has really brought people out of the woodwork who are trying to suppress racism, and it's like, oh, it's cool for me to say this shit that isn't okay to say now.
Yeah,
like feeling
that's the
more
thing,
comfortable
right?
to do that. And especially in Canada, like we were talking about this in the pre-interview, but like Asian hate crimes have gone up 800% in Vancouver alone. It's and like there's been more like violence
It's
against
awful.
women. It's I know, without throwing names out there, like again, like I said, like my sister-in-law, like she is an Asian woman who works in the public with the homeless, and I think she's, with COVID added onto that and all this violence, it's really weighing on people in a crazy amount.
That's the thing though, also, is like you said, I think a lot of these people were just waiting for any excuse to be able to do this shit, like because COVID happened to originate from Asia. It's like, okay, now all this like hate I have towards Asians I can express now, which is so disgusting.
It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's wrong. It's awful. It's terrible.
And yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, I was even just saying to Josh earlier, like what, I don't know, what can we do? Like, how do we help this? I don't know. Like, I reach out to my Asian friends, like, and make sure they're okay, and like ask if how they're feeling. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah,
what
and
I
it's
can do.
like, we're a bunch of film nerds. How do we fight this fight that when Obama got elected, I was like, all right, this is
We did it.
amazing. Look, our country is
Racism's
ready.
done.
Well, not. I mean, I guess, yeah. I kind of,
Some
I was
people
like,
felt that way, for
wow,
sure.
the promise of Martin Luther King's dream. Look at how far we've come. This is so, we're ready. And clearly, no, we're not. And it's
No.
it's
Yeah,
it's
it's really
it's a
unfortunate.
shock. I think that's why. I think it was it Dave Chappelle who was on SNL in 2016 after Trump was elected, just going, well, yep, yeah, that's what you, yeah. There's a lot of racism still. You didn't know that, and all the white people are freaking out.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
opening where they're all like freaking out. It's like, wait, is America racist? And
Yeah.
him and I believe Chris Rock were like, oh no, maybe. Like, just-
Yeah, really?
Oh,
you
you
think they are?
Yeah.
Like, wake up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we are in kind of like bubbles, we're in these
Totally.
with the news. Like, if you like this, you might like this. Like, I'm in a
Yeah.
bubble that is
Yeah.
a bubble
I mean,
of news.
Our platform isn't nearly as large as yours, but I think a big thing that is good for us to do is just, and I was talking with people about this yesterday, is like, I think it's one of those things we can't ignore anymore. We can't we can't have the mindset of, I don't like to hear negative things. This is something I think we have to bring to the forefront and be like, okay, like there's a lot of unspoken internalized racism that is in our culture, even if it's not us necessarily. It's very ingrained in our culture, and I think it's something that we have to address.
Yeah.
And say that that's not what we want to do going forward.
Yeah, and it's in us too. Like, I know for me, there have been moments when I'm like, why did you just assume that guy works here? Maybe he owns the place. What's wrong with you? Like, check yourself.
Yeah,
Stuff
totally.
like that, where you're like, okay,
Well, yeah.
just be aware and try to. I mean, in the masks video, I had the Black Lives Matter mask, and there was this great graffiti that said equal justice, and a friend of mine, who's black, was like, do you want me to check out the video to make sure, I'll give you some perspective? And I was like, thank you. Yes, I would love that. But yeah, it's unknown territory for me as a goofball, comedian, to step into the warrior mode.
Yeah, and
Totally. And that's what I was thinking too. It's just like, I think all three of us can say we're very serious or silly guys. I don't really like to take things seriously generally. It's just not my general nature to like get too worked up or serious about stuff. So like, like you said, it's new territory. It's weird to be like, I don't know, having to talk this somberly about something and not being able to make jokes,
Yeah.
because and
But it's also like, there's plenty of jokes to make without,
of course,
yeah,
yeah.
pissing somebody off.
Well, that's what I was saying. This, I think said this in another episode, but it's like, I hate when people say like, oh, like cancel culture is killing comedy. Like, you can't make jokes about anything anymore. It's like, you can make jokes about anything.
Maybe you're just
still.
not that good a comedian.
Yeah,
have
maybe
to
the
make fun
jokes
of
just
people
aren't
to-
that funny.
God, who was saying? I think even Chris Rock was on board with that though, like saying, "Geez, I don't want to do colleges anymore." Was it Chris?
Yeah.
No, maybe I'm wrong about Chris. I don't know. I love
It might have been Dave
love
Chappelle or
Chris
someone.
Chris Rock's specials. By the way, he is so funny. Maybe it was Seinfeld actually.
I
don't know.
think it might have been Seinfeld. I think
Yeah,
who
I
was
think
like, "Geez, I go to these college campuses and I'm a pro, and I'm getting booed. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do colleges anymore because they're too sensitive." And it was like, well, maybe times have changed. I don't know. Like,
yeah, and you have to understand that is like things that were okay to say 100 years ago. We don't still do
yeah, we
today.
don't
Like,
say those
dude,
now.
even-
Maybe it's just gotten
even 10
faster. Like,
years
times have
ago.
changed
Yeah,
faster,
50
and maybe that's
Well,
better.
That's a big thing I always like to talk about. The internet, it because like you said, it amplifies things, and it's like this spread of information is so fast now.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to talk to you about this as well. Like, the viral video, what that was 10 years ago and what that is now is so different, because like something like shoes probably was viral and big for, I don't know, maybe like a year or something. I don't
And
like
it like spread so much more, like to a thing where like, you know, everyone knows what that is.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
could email.
totally.
Those are the days where you could like copy. Look what I found on YouTube in an email
Yeah.
to your friends, and they would open it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Now it's like I'm not opening any weird. Don't send me that. Why are you sending me this? I'm not gonna
No,
see it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Or
and that's the thing, but
Yeah.
like, and just videos live and die so much faster now. Like
Yeah.
it's the big thing and then it's gone.
well, the news
And
cycle is so short now too. Like
Yeah, it's kind of a
Yeah.
parallel.
totally.
I forgot. Like, geez. Oh my God, what's the big news? Oh my God, Myanmar is the big news. Like, what's going
Yeah.
on in Myanmar is horrifying. People
Ye-
dying in the streets from the
Why?
military coup.
And I know that they are also suppressing, you know, journalists and media. This is just something that it might not be pleasant, but we have to think about. And I know this is an internet history podcast, but if anything, like we were talking before, like if there's anything we can do with our platform, I think right now more than anything we do have to think about this.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and think about ways to talk about it because geez, I've never really talked about this stuff. Like I remember reading about it, you know, learning about it in school, but to have a conversation about it is like I've never really done it. I mean, I've done it with my wife. You know, I've had
Mhm.
some conversations here and there, but it's not anything that I can remember being like, "Hey, let's talk about some serious shit right now."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's you know anything that can be done. Even like I've noticed that all your videos now, like that's going towards change.org for COVID-19. You know, that's
Yeah.
YouTube did a great thing when they were like, "Oh, you can you know, set up a donations thing right next to your video. And here's
Yeah.
1,000 charities you can just totally put up there." And I was like,
Does the,
"Great,
uh,
let's do that," you know?
Does
Um,
the ad revenue also go to the charity, or can you set that as well?
I don't think you can set that. I mean, you
But-
maybe I have to look into it, but I know
but
that
it's like $1 every dollar sent. Google will give $2, correct? I think that's what it says on your page,
Yes.
at least.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know
Something
that. I
that's-
thought it was just direct, but that's great that they match and
Yeah.
double the match. But also,
that's really
when we
cool.
did the masks video, we sold masks, and we were like,
Mhm.
this isn't a money grab. We're trying to, you know, get people to wear masks, but also, so we gave some money to Doctors Without Borders from the sales of that. And then in my cameos, I give money to the food bank here because at the time when I started doing cameo, there were lines of people trying to get food at these food
Yeah.
banks. And it was like, ugh, God, we got to do something. So
Well, that's another big problem I think with a lot of like the desperation violence right now is due to COVID-19 and people like making, you know, considerably less money. Like there are more people that are going below the poverty line and can't have a meal.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's gotten really bad in Vancouver. Like we have a neighborhood, the downtown east side, or like by Hastings Street, which like has been historically it's where a lot of homeless people end up and a lot of drug users and addicts end up living, and it's always been bad. And over the years they've been like kind of like trying to push it into this smaller area, and then with COVID it's just sort of exploded and now it's spilling out into the whole city because
yeah,
people are getting desperate and a lot of people have lost their homes and jobs and stuff. So we're super fortunate to have been insulated from that.
yeah, to be able to work from home.
Well, yeah, Josh and I have been working at a restaurant for the past while, and it's
If you
honestly-
want to just completely have your spirit broken, run a restaurant during COVID.
Oh my
Like,
God.
it's crazy.
People that don't want to wear masks, people that don't want to get their temperature taken, you'll say, hey, every time you leave your table or go to the washroom, please wear your mask. And you have to tell someone 5 times. Or they'll yell at you for making you follow protocols. Or they'll move their tables around. Or they'll touch stuff you tell them not to. You know, it's...
They'll leave bad reviews because when they came in, we asked them to follow the protocols. Like, it's insane.
There's a funny video of it's a prank, but I think it's in Germany where a guy is in a mall and his partner is in military outfit, and he's got a stick.
Yeah.
And the guy is not wearing a mask, and he walks by the guy with the stick, and the military guy with the stick starts going, "Where's your mask?" and beating him.
Yeah.
Now the guy is wearing a really padded jacket, so he's probably fine. But then the military guy turns and looks at a bunch of people who are not wearing masks, and they all scurry and put those masks on real fast. And I was like, that's a great prank.
We need more of that.
We need more of that. Yeah.
I don't mean to derail. We're just getting to that time, and I'd love to still keep talking to you for a minute after the podcast, if that's something you're okay with.
Yeah, I think I have time.
Yeah, but I think you have a very interesting perspective. Is you're coming from an entertainment background to YouTube, and you've kind of been on the platform the entire time that the platform has had original content. It's a very unique perspective. Would you say, like, if I were to sit you down, gun to your head, I don't know why I'm doing that, but I am for some reason.
I get it.
And I say, Liam, you got to tell me, what's your favorite era of this platform? What would you say?
It would be mine.
Yeah. But
the time when I was in there and iTunes, I had my album on iTunes and it was #1 in comedy. It was like me and Weird Al trading places. I was like,
you guys were duking it out.
But
I got
you
to
were
meet
there
Weird
a
Al
while though. That's cool. You were there a while. Would you say there's like 1 year that you think like that's the apex of when you love the platform the most?
This is all going to sound very selfish.
Oh yeah, no worries.
I guess winning the People's Choice Award.
So 2008, that would have.
Well, 07, I think.
Oh,
07 was the best because 07 was like, okay, we're gonna make the Let Me Borrow That Top video. I'm gonna tour with Margaret Cho. I'm gonna do college shows. Like I'm gonna pitch to networks. Like that was the woo. Yeah. My head was spinning that year, and
I bet
it was great. It was like, it was great, but it was there was some stress too. There was like, I hope I'm doing this right, or I hope I don't bungle this opportunity, or there was a lot of that going on as well. But but it's funny, the writer's strike happened the year I won the People's Choice Award, so there was no event. Queen Latifah was on a soundstage just telling people, here's who won this, here's who won that, and now the show's over. And
because she wasn't, no writer was funny enough to give her good lines.
Well, they couldn't do the whole they couldn't hold the whole event without writers writing jokes for the multiple celebrities who usually come up and
just Queen Latifah stand. Dana, come on, just get someone to write your jokes beforehand, a family friend.
I think she was kind of stuck because she was like, I got to do. I'm contract. I don't know. She came back out or something. We have to do something.
Signed on or something.
Yeah,
the crazy thing about it is that, and this is like a fact that like I'll put on the pod. Let's not spread it around though. Is without writers, the tough thing is Queen Latifah is actually not a queen, and not a lot of people know that. So if that got out, she said too much. Be like, wait a minute, she's not royalty, and people would freak out.
That's just a nickname.
Yeah, there would be rioting in the streets.
Yeah, it's like when Dr. Dre, everyone found out he wasn't.
He doesn't have a PhD, actually.
Yeah, and everyone was super pissed about that.
I have his headphones actually, or my wife does. But
oh shit,
he gave them to you.
The Beats by Dre.
Yeah.
Did he deliver them
his personal pair?
Oh yeah, we go way back. No, I remember the Chronic though, listening to the Chronic for the first time and going, "What is this? Oh my god, it's incredible!"
It's a good record.
Yeah. Dre is actually a friend of the show. We used to have a couples cooking class together, me and Dre.
Yeah.
He, believe it or not, Mr.
It was
Dre,
Josh and I and Dre and Snoop.
Yeah, and they made a really good quiche.
Yeah,
like just very fluffy.
Real men do eat quiche.
Really nice.
They do.
Of course.
I'm excited to see Queen Latifah in the Equalizer reboot.
Oh, she's come back?
I saw a billboard. The Equalizer was an 80s action show, and then it got rebooted as a Denzel Washington movie franchise with 2 movies. And now it looks like Queen Latifah is bringing it back to television or streaming. and she's the equalizer.
They're bringing back a lot
Nice.
of older shows. My dad is soon he's guest starring in the remake of Turner and Hooch.
No! Oh my
yeah.
God! Turner and Hooch.
He's playing a bad guy. All I know, I can't give details right now, but all I know is that he's not playing Hooch.
Okay.
That's all I know. He's not
So
playing
he's
the dog.
playing Turner.
No, I don't know. I
Turner
can't give
was-
anything away.
Was it Tom Hanks in the original?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Hooch was
Bring it
played
all
by
back.
Ruffers the Third.
I want to. They brought back MacGyver. They brought back Magnum PI.
Yeah, they
back
brought
Hawaii Five-0.
what's the other the one with the anti-Semite and the guy from Predator? I'm getting
Roseanne?
too old for this shit. What am I thinking of?
Danny Glover.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just
and Mel
Danny
Gibson.
Glover isn't an anti-Semite. I was talking about Mel.
You're
Gibson.
talking about Mel. Yeah.
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 What an odd name, Mel. I'll
It was
shit on
short
Mel
for Melvin, right?
Gibson. Even worse. I'll shit on Mel Gibson. I don't care.
Is it short for Melvin?
I don't think
Melvin
so. I don't know.
Gibson? Not as cool
Melvin
now.
Gibson.
You Jew hater.
That'd be funny if it was.
Yeah.
Apocalypto is a good movie. I'll say that.
Is there anything that you're working on that you're really excited for people to see right now?
Yeah, my friend Dave and I and Alana and my other friend Bryce, we are talking about doing a live show on Zoom.
Oh yeah.
Like a Zoom or I think we're doing it on Vimeo actually.
Okay.
With with the Kelly universe.
Yeah.
And
Right on.
trying to do like my friend Pam Cook, who plays Kelly's mom.
Oh, she's
To
fantastic.
bring her, isn't she fantastic?
She's so good.
She is.
Yeah.
Check out her IMDb. She has done a ton of stuff.
I love how she says whore.
Yeah.
And
We have
just the facial expression. And I totally buy that she's like in her 60s.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
She rocks it. She is a wonderful actress. And so funny. And her ad libs are so good. There was something she said in Let Me Borrow That Top in the skit part of it where she goes, oh, so Susan's girlfriend is Spanish and she speaks Spanish. Like she
Oh yeah, we don't it's like we speak English here cuz other languages upset us and scare us.
Yes, that, she said that language I don't understand and therefore it makes me angry. And
Yeah.
she just
And that was just an ad lib?
laid that down so
Oh,
well. Yeah,
God.
it's an ad lib and
That's so
That's
funny.
in the take I had to kind of slow myself down at the end because I burst out laughing immediately. It was just too funny
Oh, yeah.
in the moment. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm sitting right next to her when she said it. So luckily there was
Yeah.
enough, a little bit of time there where I could cut without you seeing me break. But yeah. So we're going to do a live show on May 15.
Okay,
And
nice. My
my
brother turns 30, so it's for his birthday.
oh, sweet.
Happy
Do we-
birthday, Joel.
We
Happy
get
birthday,
tickets,
Joel.
Of course, right?
Yes, you guys will get tickets.
Nice.
Nice.
And yeah, I'm not really sure how it's going to go. We've got some ideas. I'm going to do Bob Tulop, the
Nice.
curmudgeonly announcer. I'm going to be myself, which is like I've never done that. And then might do some nostalgic things, like look at some old actual newspapers from
Yeah.
this is a newspaper. And then do some stuff with Kelly and
Right on.
and see how it goes. We set a date.
excited. Yeah,
we said,
I'd love to
just
see
set
that.
a date and then worry about what it is.
Nice.
Thomas turned me on to this. I hadn't seen this one before. But it's the one where you're like playing just a New York guy and narrating yourself walking down
Oh,
the
yeah.
street. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
you go in and you just do the hello. This is NPR. And you know.
That guy has since retired, but that was one impersonation that I could do. So I did it like that. And
Oh, another one you killed that I'd love to see there. I think you've probably done the best Tim Gunn I've ever heard.
oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Work. Yeah, I love Tim
Just
Gunn.
but how you carried yourself as that too, like you definitely seems someone who really kind of falls into the character.
Yeah, I like to do that.
Yeah, and it was just like, and just the makeup too. That was just definitely the best Tim Gunn I've ever seen.
Oh, thanks. Oh, I
We're just
appreciate that.
buttering you up on this show.
Yeah.
Oh, we're big fans.
No, seriously, honestly, it's so funny. Like I could go all day talking about
Which is-
bits that I find hilarious.
It's so cool to, I think I won't name names because we're internet historians and maybe end up interviewing these people at some point. Who knows? But there's a lot of stuff, like we go back and watch from sort of like the heyday or the childhood era of YouTube. It's like, oh, this really didn't hold up, but your stuff is still so amazing, and even
honestly
stuff like
better
because I actually understand what's going on now because I'm not 10.
Yeah.
But it's so cool to see that, and just as we're getting to that point anyway, like to still see that you're doing so much cool stuff and that you're editing and still making live stuff and masks, and how awesome it is to go back and watch your stuff. I really appreciate you being on the show, man.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on the show. It's been really good talking to you guys.
It's been awesome talking to you. If people want to find you, how
Well,
would they
here
do-
actually, Josh,
sorry.
we gotta. This is leading into our last question,
Oh.
and we ask every guest this.
Oh
It's
yes,
very
I
important.
almost forgot. Thomas,
We
please
can't
take it
forget.
away.
So, Liam, have you ever completed a hands-free ejac?
No.
I'm
Okay.
still alone.
Still alone, Josh.
I'm the only. We've asked. I think at this point now you're our 9th guest,
Yeah.
and no.
We missed Adam Johnson. We fucked it.
If you're
He's gotta
listening to
come
this,
back
Mr.
on the show,
Johnson,
Adam.
have your hands freed? But yeah, no one's. I'm the only one.
Oh.
I
You're
feel.
so alone.
I feel very alone.
I'm
Well,
so
some
sorry.
people have said yes, but then they kind of redacted. it
They
after.
used apparatuses or clothes or
Yeah, Kevin McLeod kept asking, "Do clothes count?" And I was like, "What does that?"
He had sex with a shirt.
Yeah.
For those who maybe haven't heard, Kevin McLeod is responsible for probably all the copyright freak music on the internet.
And he had sex with a shirt.
He had sex with a shirt. That's a gotcha moment right there.
That's
So
the only one we've got so far.
So if you're hanging out with Kevin McLeod and you just have some laundry lying around, put that away. He's gonna bang those jorts.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, like Josh was saying, absolute pleasure, Liam. You've been wonderful.
Thank you.
And yeah, so excited to see that you're doing stuff again. And I hope it continues. I'd like to see more of your
And
content,
we'd love to
because
see that live show.
Yeah, of
Thanks.
course.
Okay. Yeah, it's May 15, and I mean, we'll knock it. I'm kind of delving into the like, hey, let's see what happens here. Like
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
a little bit of that loosey goosey feel. I used to try to, write it, edit it. As editors, like you're like, make it tight,
Yeah.
make it
Yeah.
just so, and
Sometimes you just got to do it.
sometimes, yeah, you got to let go.
I think that's what we found doing this podcast and sketches is like, I think we have that, similar to probably how your brain works, but ours coming from a film school background. Like everything has to be perfect and meticulous. If it's not going to be perfect, don't do it. And then I think we just had to learn, like, let's just do it, see what happens, if it's fun, and if it makes us laugh.
That's
yeah,
all that
and it
matters.
doesn't make you less of a professional.
Yeah.
To
No,
get messy,
totally.
to get like woo, because I mean, some of the
And
brightest comedians, and they just get like when I learned that Dave Chappelle just gets up there and just can do hours of material
that's crazy.
like all night. He could talk. You can't drag him off the stage. It's like I thought he had to like prepare and do all this stuff, and he's no, not that guy.
I like it in one of his specials where he's like, I've always known that I'm talented. And he's like,
Yeah.
I go on stage and I say, yeah, I'm going to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Just,
yeah. Yeah.
I think
Whereas
one
a
of
guy like George Carlin, it's just a sweet, like George Carlin has to be my favorite because it was a performance piece.
Yeah.
the 10 dirty words you can't say on television.
Brilliant, right?
Yeah.
Just like,
My dad's favorite comedian.
yeah.
Him and Chappelle are probably
Yeah,
my
well,
dad's
they're
And
two
two
of the
totally
big
different
ones.
styles. Like, I just, yeah.
But just two masters. I think
Yeah.
I'll say this for the world to hear. Chappelle is definitely my favorite comedian.
Yeah.
I'll say
That's
it.
fair.
I don't care who knows it.
I guess,
I
well,
got to give a special shout out to Bo Burnham though.
Oh yeah, Bo Burnham.
Bo Burnham.
Also one of your
Yeah.
people.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met him very briefly.
Would it be YouTube Live or?
No, it was
Did
at
you go to YouTube Live?
Bonnaroo. It was at Bonnaroo in
Oh, okay.
2010.
Also, did you go to the first VidCon?
You know,
VidCon 2010?
I think maybe I did, but I don't remember. I think by that point the heat had come off me a little, and so it wasn't like people were like, "Hey, come to, we'll set you up." Like there was none of that.
He
Like,
didn't see your circle, Thomas.
Christ. I went there.
what circle?
And
Was that
Sexy
your
Field-
first question?
No.
Oh,
I wasn't going to say, I just was curious if he went.
Liam, you've honestly been a pleasure. You're such a sweet guy. You're such a funny guy. Thank you for coming on the show. If people want to find your stuff, they've heard this podcast, like, this guy rules. Where do I find him? Where should they go?
liamshow.com.
Liamshow.com.
Yeah, it's got all the links to all the stuff.
And would we be able to, on liamshow.com, when it comes out, see where we can see the Vimeo show?
Yeah, it'll be May 15th. There'll be a link there. Rock and roll.
That's perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show, everybody. Thank you for listening. If you want to find us, we're on Anchor FM/FriendStyles. We're on Patreon.com/FriendStyles. When We Are There show on Instagram and TikTok.
And Twitter, but we don't use it.
We don't. Our wholesome OnlyFans is FriendStyles. If you want to have a friend and you want to see wholesome non-nude content of us just being pals, check that out. And thank you so much. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.